Hello Laravel friends, this week's 11.34 release is about little quality of life improvements for you. Let's go. First, we have now a new storage assertion. So when you fake the storage service inside a test, you now have the new assert count helper as well. Well, next to the other ones which we already had. Thank you, Amadresa. Next, I got a new spell for you. I'm pretty sure you already know of the number helper in Laravel Facade, which has a lot of nice little helpers like, for example, currency. So let's check out 47 here. Now we get this with the default currency, which is dollars. Or what we also have is abbreviation. So let's take now 47,000. Let's run this again. Now we get 47K. So this is also nice. And what we also have is the spell one to spell out a specific number. 47,000, or let's get back here to 47. Yeah, like this. And we also have the ordinal helper here, which gives us back like the ordinal of the numbers of 47s. But now we have something in combination, spell ordinal, which does exactly, spells it out and use the ordinal of the number. So this will give us back, what do you think? 47th, yeah, correct. So now there's a new helper, which I think is really nice for you to use in Laravel. Thank you, Joel. And last, there is a new little improvement on the faked HTTP service. Inside this test, I want to make sure that we store a specific podcast and we get this one through an API. So first, I'm making sure we don't have any podcasts into the database. Then we are calling this action to get this podcast, and then we make sure we have it inside the database. And if we take a look at this action here, which is very simple, you can see that we're calling this endpoint here in order to get a specific podcast here. Very simple example. And yeah, of course, inside our test, we don't want to hit the real API every time because, yeah, this is a little bit too heavy. So what can we do about this? We can fake it. Let's add here an arrange part, and I'm using the facade fake method in order to fake some calls. And the way this works is you have an array, and as the key, you provide an endpoint. In my case, this is our external service. And here we define what we want to return. And we do this with an HTTP response, which we can create like this. And in this case, we actually just need a title, my fake podcast. All right. So this means when we try to hit this endpoint through the HTTP service helper here, then we want to return, instead of calling the API, this as a fake response. Okay, then we are acting here. Here we're actually doing this, and then we are checking the database for this podcast. Let's run this, and this is failing. Let's see what we got. We have a different name here, so let's change this. I think it's my fake podcast. Yeah, and now this test is working, and we're not actually hitting any external services, because in this case, what we want to make sure is that we store the podcast, and it's not so much about if the API is working. This could be a separate test. Okay, this is nothing new. We already had this for quite some time in Laravel, but now there's a little new thing which we can do, which is a shorthand. So this means here on the right side, instead of always returning an HTTP response, we can now just return the array. So let's get rid of the response, and Laravel will know that this will be an HTTP response, and you can see the test is still passing. So this is pretty cool. You can just pass an array, or if you just want to provide a string, you can just do this. And what you can also do is you can just provide an integer, which would be the status code of the response. So this is something new, HTTP fake shorthands, just for you. Thank you, Jason. That's it for this week. Please let us know that you like these videos by giving us a like or subscribe if you don't want to miss the next ones. Have fun with the new release. Bye.